Thursday, the 26th of January. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frontier Opening Bell. This is just a very quick snapshot of your trading day for Wednesday. 0.02% negative for the Nigerian exchange group. Again, because you got a sell down in Geregu Power PLC, which is the only power generating company, blue chip on the market. That was all. That sell down, including MTN shares as well, were a little bit balanced by a few gains in the banking space. So the NGX All Share Index was just around two basis points in the negative territory. So not so significant as it were. Today's Thursday. Again, there was a whole lot of activities yesterday around Nigeria's primary market, treasury bills auction. We'll get to that later. And the show, BRVM went up by 14 basis points. The Ghana stock market fell by 0.02%, just as the Nigerian bourse as well. In Egypt, the stock market was a roaring 2.13%. On the EGX 30, we got a couple of earnings from 2022 coming through on the Egyptian market and the whole issue around the currency and whether there's a further devaluation of the Egyptian pound. Then you've got the Nairobi stock market piping hot, 1.32% in the red, 126.63. After a lackluster first week in January, the Nairobi securities market is coming up really strong. Let's look at the GSE, the South African market down 0.39% at 79,725 in sympathy with the rest of the emerging and developed markets on Wednesday. That was. So let's bring in the top stories from East Africa, and quite a number of earnings from 2022 coming through. Car and General and a few other companies in the new reporting earnings. A couple of corporate news coming through from other companies such as Sasini and others. So keep that in mind. But Kenya, broadly speaking, on the economic front, is looking at more regional trade after a deal with two blocks, which will begin in the month of March. The International Monetary Fund, however, is projecting that Ethiopia and Angola will push Kenya aside as the fourth biggest economy on the African continent, and that is not some good news for Kenya, by the way. In the meantime, the Kenya Railway says it will go cashless effective Wednesday, the 1st of February, and keep that in mind. You got to do all the ticketing and everything will have to be digital. So you put buy tickets, no cash any longer. Uganda has flagged off its first oil drilling and is targeting the first output by the year 2025. It was done, quite a very big event by President Yoweri Museveni and his cabinet, including partners into this very huge hydrocarbon exploration in one of East Africa's biggest economies. So we go to West Africa, where the Central Bank of Nigeria yesterday saw more than ₦1 trillion in total subscription requests by investors. The financial regulator sold just 220 billion. And you can see the rates came down very sharply. 90-day bill was down 1.71%. 182-day bill was off track by 2.53% and 2.52% haircut for 364-day bill. 90-day bill was selling for less than 1%. There's so much liquidity in the financial system. The unmet 800 billion naira plus of subscription at the primary markets auction yesterday for NTB is expected to go into the secondary market today. So you expect to see the numbers at FMDQ Securities Exchange looking much heftier today as far as the rate is concerned. So the central bank raised interest rate on Tuesday to 17.50%, starting the new year with the cycle of interest rate hike. In the meantime, the managing director and head of strategy at EFG Hermes Research is Simon Kitchen is asking Nigerian authority to create trust in the government, in the economy, in the entire fiscal space, and that just devaluing the naira will not be enough to bring much the needed investment inflows into the country. The Nigerian, Morgan Stanley Capital International, the MSCI, Frontier Markets Index is deciding whether to take Nigeria out of that basket on the 1st of June. That will be the first day for the new administration in Nigeria after the elections on the 25th of February next month. So there's quite a lot hanging around the country right now. And the advice is to focus not just on monetary policy, exchange rate, but also on the fiscal side of things to win confidence of both local and international investors. Fuel from gold for oil policy, according to the Bank of Ghana, is meeting only about 20% of the country's need, and there's still a whole lot more that needs to be done. Let's take it out, bring up the Southern Africa space, and then you can see today is the D-Day when the Central Bank of South Africa, which is the South Africa Reserve Bank, is expected to decide on interest rate, whether it's going to be 50 basis points or 25 basis points. That's what economists are looking at. We expect that announcement later today. Eskom, the troubled utility giant, is weighing nuclear fuel impact after US and South Africa's deal comes to an end. Sonatrach and Sasol are looking to produce low-carbon hydrogen in Sicily, that's in Italy, while Shell Global and Invictus Energy reported finding more oil in Namibia and Zimbabwe. And South Africa's poultry giant Astral is warning that 90% of its earnings could plunge because of the country's poor electricity. The earnings season is here, and poor electricity or power in South Africa is likely to impact quite a number of listed companies on the GSE. Let's take that on board and go to North Africa, where it all started, looking at a couple of headlines this Thursday. The Casablanca stock market, which is the Morocco stock exchange, has modernized its own range of indices. It's a bit of a rebalancing those indices to further reflect better outlook for investors and analysts who are looking to invest in the Casablanca stock market. And Maghrebia VA's turnover was up by 13% in 1 year. That's part of the earnings season from 2020 we're taking on board early in the new year, where Clean Seas says to acquire 51% of Morocco's firm, EcoSynergy. And the ICIEC, which is the international investment, Islamic investment and insurance company, signed an agreement with Libya's Export Promotion Council to support Libya's exports with some level of credit. And not so good news for more than 12,000 Moroccan businesses actually failed last year, no thanks to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. That was higher than 2021 figure by around 17.4%. And that's part of what is being reported at this point in time. That's some of your headline news across the Frontier Africa today. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy your day. Have a profitable day, and I'll see you next time.